energy of aspiration. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is our pleasure to welcome you at the 14th ceremony of awarding the prize, International Energy Prize Global Energy. Allow me, please, to introduce to you a charming TV and radio anchor, journalist, and active public figure, Inga Yumasheva, a researcher, journalist, and editor, a true scientific popularizer, Ilya Kolmanovsky. Global energy is annually highlighting the most outstanding scientific research in energy, which helps the humankind as a whole address the most acute and burning energy problems. But this prize was born in Russia. It comes as no surprise. The International Prize was born in Russia because Russia is the largest supplier and consumer of energy. Russia has a big input in creating high-efficiency energy, countering climate change and ensuring environmental safety across the planet. This prize was first awarded in 2003, and then the President of Russia, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, thus formulated its purpose. The International Prize Global Energy was conceived and created as an award for the new millennium. I think it's highly symbolic and natural that it has been founded at the initiative of Russia, and in Russia, one of the recognized leaders of the global energy market. So the ceremony of awarding the International Energy Prize Global Energy 26 is declared open. Non-for-profit partnership Global Energy, with the support of the largest energy companies of Russia, Gazprom, Surgutneftegaz, and federal grid company EUS, Russia Energy Systems, highlights and supports the most important projects, research, and takes a decision who of the leading researchers will be awarded this prize this year. That is so. The prize was born in 2002 thanks to the idea of well-known Russian researchers, active position of leading energy companies, and the active support of the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. Let us welcome the founders of the International Prize Global Energy, members of the not-for-profit partnership Global Energy. Joint Stock Society Gazprom, personal representative of the chairman of the board, Sergei Vladimirovich Kupriyanov. Joint Stock Society Surgutneft Society, Director General Vladimir Leonidovich Bogdanov. Joint Stock Society, Federal Grid Company, United Energy System of Russia, Chairman of the Board Andrei Yevgenievich Murov. Ilya, you are now a PhD, you are researching. It would be interesting to get to know from you, to get to know more about the global energy. It's not about prize alone, quite exactly. JEP, it's not about awarding a prize. It means a huge amount of work is being done by this partnership with the same name, and it's not about awarding the prize. One of the most important objectives is to try to stimulate to promote young scientists and young researchers, and for this purpose, about a dozen different programs of the partnership are working, and the purpose is to involve young researchers, even school children and journalists. Thus, for 14 years, the partnership Global Energy, every year, with the support of traditional and truly innovative methods, addresses many questions. But it's best one see it once than hear about it 100 times. Let us look at the film about traditions, innovations, and programs of the global energy. – 2002, Brussels, Summit Russia-EU. Russia's President Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin officially announced that we are starting a prize Global Energy. Financial support was undertaken by the leading energy companies of the country. One of the first to join on board was Gazprom, somewhat later Surgutneftsgaz, and Russian United Energy Systems. Global Energy is the first and most prestigious international award in energy. The most outstanding events in the global energy have become part of the global energy calendar, and the discoveries by the prize winners are changing for the better life of people in the whole planet. 2003, St. Petersburg in Konstantinovsky Palace was the venue for the first award of personal prize in energy. The prize winners were Academician Mesets from Russia, Professor Jan Douglas Smith and Professor Nick Kalanyak from the United States. The discoveries of Professor Kalanyak nowadays serve the foundation of most energy engines across the world.
Analyze trends and suggest areas of activity which must be followed in the future. And our contribution is really from the experts that we have on the committee to form a basic area where we can give the proper advice and guidance which can be looked at by governments and funding for research and development and application in the future.
In 2006, the global energy for the first time is presented at St. Petersburg International Forum. The prize is awarded to ITECA, the International Experimental Thermonuclear Reactor. The Japanese researcher Akihiro Yoshino and the researcher from Russia. In 2003, the prize was awarded to several researchers from a dozen countries, from UK, Germany, Iceland, Russia, Ukraine, France, Sweden and Japan. The world importance of this prize has been recognized by the leading experts, including ex-president of the United States, George Bush Jr., Jacques Chirac, ex-president of France, Prime Minister of UK, David Cameron, and Shinzo Abe, Prime Minister of Japan. The right to nominate a candidate is entitled to 3,000 researchers from 8 countries of the world. 2007, the award was given to Russian Vladimir Nakaryakov, Geoffrey Hewitt from Great Britain, and Torstein Sigfusson from Iceland. Professor Sigfusson harnessed the geysers in his country, but turned his country into an environmentally friendly hydrogen society. 2003, hydrogen-powered buses, hydrogen-powered cars. 2020, first naval ships based on hydrogen. hydrogen. And in 20 years, the country will completely stop using non-renewable energy. In 2010, London, the smartest people in the world answer the most important questions, and the British publication suggested that its readers should ask questions to the Global Energy Prize winners and to the International Committee on its award. In a number of several days, several hundred questions were sent to the newspaper, and this dialogue became available across the country. This material from The Guardian was reprinted by over 400 publications. 2011, the most energy-efficient prize winners, Philip Rudberg from Russia and Arthur Rosenfeld from the United States. Academician Rudberg is an author of low-temperature plasmatron. This is a special device that can burn even the most toxic waste and turn it into clean energy. Thanks to this technology, a small town with a population of 30,000 can be fueled by 40% of all the required electricity through waste processing alone. Arthur Rosenfeld is a guru of energy efficiency. For example, he painted his roof on white, and thus he saved on his energy bills for air conditioning. Energy-efficient standards of Rosenberg save millions and billions of dollars to the United States, and he continues this line. In 2012, the prize winners were Rodney John Allen, Valery Kostyuk, and Boris Katergin, created the best liquid-based engines, and they are successfully used in the American space program. For example, in launching Atlas missiles, Russia and the United States concluding a contract to supply 122 engines, 79 of which have been supplied to the US. 2013, Global Energy was awarded to academician Vladimir Fortov and the Japanese chemist Akiro Yoshino. Professor Yoshino invented modern, compact and light lithium-ion batteries, which are now the energy source for computers and smartphones. Global Energy is not about a prize alone. In order to involve into energy science all kinds of audiences and all kinds of areas of research, the organizers started about 10 programs. Energy of Start, motivating high school children to go into energy. Energy of Youth, all Russian competition for youth research projects in energy. Energy of Breakthrough, this is a 1 million worth prize for the best startup in energy. Energy of Words, an international competition for journalists to award the best publication on energy. World Energy, getting the public to know about the most recent energy trends. Energy of Adventure, traveling the world in search of the best and exciting energy. Energy of Knowledge, interactive lectures by STAR students for Russian students. Energy of Inspiration, for those who, next to the researchers, inspire them to make new discoveries. In 2015, the winners are at the top of the global science. Suzy Nakamura from the United States is the pioneer of LED lighting technology. His inventions are blue LED that found a new way to find clean white light. In US alone, switching to LED saved 300 terawatt hours of electric energy and will cut the emissions of carbon dioxide by 210 million metric tons. Jayant Baliga is author of the gate bipolar transistor, which is one of the most important innovations in the control and distribution of energy. In the last 25 years, it helped save about 73,000 terawatt hours. In 2016, the voting by the members of the International Committee is over. Despite all the forecasts, the winner is only one. For the breakthrough development of novel catalysts in oil processing and renewable energy sources, we contributed substantially and fundamentally into the energy of the future. The prize goes to academician, full member of the Academy of Science, Dr. Valentin Parmon. Valentin Nikolaevich, good afternoon. This is Alexander Shokhin from the advisory board of the not-for-profit partnership Global Energy. Well, this year we are awarding the prize to you. Congratulations. Well, surely this is a true recognition of what I'm doing. Thank you very much for the revival of Russian energy. We would like to welcome the chairman of the advisory board of the non-for-profit partnership, president of the Russian Union of Industrialists and Entrepreneurs, Alexander Nikolaevich Shokhin, and the chairman of the International Committee on awarding the prize Global Energy Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Rodney John Allen from the UK. Ilya, it turns out that the global energy is about the energy of childhood, and about energy of thought, energy of knowledge, adventure, yes, you name it. And as our film says, it is energy of words, energy of breakthrough, energy of education, and you could carry on. The winners in the major partners programs are present here in this room. I can see them, the young winners of the new program, Energy of the Start, of the all-Russian competition in projects and energy among teenagers. It's carried out by the non-for-profit partnership together with the foundation Nadezhная Smena. And the purpose is to interest the high school goers and to involve the most promising of them to go into energy. At this organized championship to address the cases, this was attended over 200 students from several schools in Russia. In this 16 teams, they tried to solve special case that was developed for this year, Strategy of Development of Fuel and Energy Complex of Russia. That is the name. I find it hard to even pronounce this. I don't know how the kids addressed this and solved this case. Its conditions meant that they had to develop the energy strategy of Russia up till 2035. Well, with a round of applause, we would like to welcome the young winners of the Energy of Start, Batareika, Lyceum 77 of Chelyabinsk. They are the school children who made their calculations, and they suggested to considerably increase the amount of energy through wind, sun, and geothermal energy. Did I put it right? Congratulate you on your victory. Carry on. We're working with a young generation of young researchers, young scientists. It's one of the main areas of this work for this non-for-profit partnership. These active young researchers and scientists are the future of the global energy. Yesterday, the prize winners in this annual Symposium of Global Energy delivered their presentations and reports on the work they did to seek for grants of the global energy. I listened to what they had to say. That was really exciting. Just think of it. About 200 young researchers in all the years that the program has been around were awarded 36 million rubles as grants for doing research. I suppose it's great. I suppose it's really great. Then the winners of the all-Russian competition of the youth research projects in energy, Energy of Youth. A round of applause for the winners, young researchers. Ilya, for me, it came as a pleasant surprise that today this meeting is attended not only by Global Energy Prize winners, but also Nobel Prize winners. Quite the case, Ina. Indeed, we have Nobel Prize winners. There is a number of reasons. First, in the world, the press calls our prize Energy Nobel Prize, and at the same time, some of our prize winners are also Nobel Prize winners. And thirdly, allow me right now to give the floor and invite you all to attend the roundtable Planet Earth by 2033. To mark the 200th anniversary since the birth of Alfred Nobel, will take place tonight at 5:15, and this will be attended by Nobel Prize winners who were invited by the not-for-profit partnership Global Energy and Roscongress. It means that the attendants can find out from literally from the smartest people, most intelligent people in this planet of what is awaiting us in 17 years' time. We just mentioned Nobel Prize winners and Global Prize winners and journalists who call this prize as Energy Nobel Prize. One of the programs is Energy of the Word. This highlights the key role of objective and professional coverage by the media of the energy problems. A welcome address and award for the winner in Energy of the World in 2016. We invite here to the podium Chairman of the International Committee on Awarding Prize and Global Energy, Nobel Prize winner and Global Energy Prize winner Rodney John Allam from UK.
Ladies and gentlemen, and honoured guests, it's my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to the 2016 award ceremony of the Global Energy Prize. And I welcome you as Chairman of the Award Committee and our sponsors, Gazprom, Sur, Gudneftegas and the Federal Grid Company. Now, as you've heard, the Global Energy Prize is a unique international award for outstanding research and development in the fields of energy production. And it has great relevance to the world's goal for achieving sustainable development in the future. Now, as you've seen, there are other programs supported by and rewarded by Global Energy. I would like to introduce you to the winner of the award for the Energy of Words. This prize is for an international media competition to recognise an outstanding contribution by an individual journalist covering energy issues. And the award is for an article entitled "The Gulf's Castles of Sand."
Программа «Энергия Пера» была создана в 2004 году из
The program was started in 2004, and since then it has been awarded to the journalists from The Economist and Channel 1, The Kommersant in Russia, and Bloomberg and TASS, Radio of Moscow, and The Guardian. And this year, the winner of this is Robin Mills from the UK, who works for foreign policy as well as columnist of the National from the United Arab Emirates.
Mr. Mills, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Allam.
Thank you, everybody. I'm very pleased to be here, and I'd like to express my appreciation to all of you for attending the event, and to Global Energy for recognizing my contribution in the field of energy journalism. And at the time that we're facing more and more challenges in the energy sector, of volatile energy prices, the emergence of new technologies, and the need to adapt to climate change, I think it's more and more important that journalists are able to communicate clearly to a wider public some complicated technical arguments and get those across simply so people can understand some of these important issues and make better decisions about our energy future. So thank you all again.
Thank you, Mr. Mills.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. Илья, какие еще?
Ilya, what are other new means and methods that are being used today by the participants of Global Energy Prize? Well, first of all, I'd like to share with you my professional interest as a journalist. I'm primarily interested in foresight technologies. Last year, thanks to the Foresight Center of the High School of Economics, I conducted a separate session on doing a forecast for the global energy outlook by 2050. And this year, the laureate of Global Energy Prize in Foresight session have identified the key products and technologies, the commercialization of which would contribute to the intensive development of global energy. Well, we're getting used to conduction of Foresight sessions that are based on the unique system and methods of expert assessment, and this system enables us to identify the areas of development of science and technology that are most important for global energy in the horizon up to 2040. Let us take a look on a short video that demonstrates the Foresight process. Please pay attention to the screen. 2016, Moscow. Participants and laureates of the Global Energy Prize, as well as members of the International Committee on the award, have focused on the theme of the development of the key foresight technologies by 2040. The key questions were the following. First one, the growth of the world population that leads to an increase in energy consumption. In 2015, 1.2 billion people live in energy poverty, which means without access to electricity and heat. By 2030, this figure would increase by 6 times. Second, climate change and the consequences of that are already evident: droughts, floods, and other extreme weather conditions. The key problem is reduction of greenhouse gases. The purpose of Foresight session is to offer the scenarios for the development of this scenario and the best solutions to that. Today, Foresight is a huge area of work represented by scientists. So basically, it is a sign on the methods of the forecasting. On the other hand, the huge practical activity being done by state agencies and leading companies, as well as scientific centers all around the globe. And this activity has been conducted for over 50 years. Its scale is constantly increasing, and the technology is getting increasingly sophisticated, but gaining more importance as a tool to explain the state policy. The proposed scenarios of the development are the following. The development of the distributed energy distribution from renewable sources. These sources include sun, water, and wind. The cost of these technologies would be decreased while the accessibility was increased. And movement toward accessibility and decrease of expenses. By 2050, we expect high economic efficiency of solar and wind energy. Experts also noted inexpensive and high-capacity batteries for electric vehicles, which will accelerate the displacement from the market of cars with conventional combustion engine by reducing the price of the battery up to $250 and kilowatts per hour. The prices of $60 per barrel of oil. Having a driverless electric vehicle would be cheaper than a standard petroleum vehicle. And therefore, the third promising technological direction, according to this price, is hydrogen energy in transport and fuel cells. The benefits of hydrogen cars are high efficiency, 40 to 60%, as compared to the standard internal combustion vehicles amounts to only 25%. And hydrogen car mileage is at least the internal combustion engine, 500 to 650 kilometers. Hydrogen cars are the most environmentally friendly, and raw materials for the production of hydrogen air are biomass and household waste. Another peculiarity of that kind of foresight research is that we can engage all the key stakeholders in the process of future designing, and those stakeholders should be representatives of government, business, science, and education. We therefore cannot exclude business from this conversation. Definitely business and its competence are among the stakeholders, and they should be the key employer. On the other hand, we cannot exclude universities either, that are supposed to react to these demands and build their activities according to it, or the state, which is supposed to regulate this field and provide support for the development of educational system. This is very important to get proper involvement of all the stakeholders. Well, we've learned a lot about the prize, and now I think it's time to name the laureates of the International Global Energy Prize 2016. Actually, just one name. As you understand, we have a unique situation this time. The prize has been awarded to one laureate. Well, I think everybody are willing to know what was the key principles and rules to identify the laureate. Well, as the outcome, the International Committee of the award, which includes 20 leading global experts from 13 countries, gather in Moscow to do the voting and identify the candidates of the year. But this is the end of it. But before that, there is a whole long preliminary process. This is huge work. The nomination of a candidate is happening by 3 independent international experts. Then they define the long list selected by the international committee, and they select the short list, all controlled by the legal service of the partnership. So all is done very thoroughly and in all the details. So the laureate is being defined as a result of a secret voting by the international committee. As a result of the first round, they calculate the votes, and if there are nominates that received more than 2/3 of the votes, they automatically become laureates of the prize. However, if nobody achieved the required number of votes in the first round, then in the second and the follow-up rounds, they include the candidates that received no less than 1/3 of the votes. And according to the statement of the prize, more than 3 laureates in 1 year are not possible. Well, this year, the only laureate who received the required number of votes in the first round was a member of the Russian Academy of Sciences, Valentin Parmon from Russia. Please pay attention to the screen. 2016, Moscow. Valentin Parmon was selected as a laureate of Global Energy Prize. The International Committee has highly emphasized his development of new catalysts in the area of oil processing and renewable energy sources that made very important contribution to the energy of the future. In the 1960s, Mr. Parmon was a child of the Soviet Union. Yuri Gagarin reached the outer space, and there was huge interest for sciences. But he was most interested in bionics. The science focused on the differences between nature and science and launched the development of the young scientists. From geology, a young nature lover, he started working in the Russian club of young talents, and he was playing on stage, doing jokes, and he finally became the student of MIFI University, Moscow Science and Technology University, and when he was on his 3rd year of studies, he fully dedicated his knowledge, and he became the ancestor of a Swedish chemist, Jens Detzelis. In the Soviet times, when I was a student, the whole country was working on development of science. Everybody was aspiring for more, and I passed my entrance exam to the university, and I knew this is exactly the university to focus and work on science. I never thought that I would become a chemist or work in Novosibirsk, and today in the world of science, the name of Valentin Parmon stands for non-traditional catalysis processes. 3 key developments of Mr. Parmon just in 3 minutes. Valentin knows how to get oil without any waste. When working on oil development, there is a lot of associated gas accumulated. Up to 30 megawatts of associated gas is being burned because in this associated gas, propane, butane is there, and it is very hard to transport. That is why it is being burned or pumped back into the well. As for the losses due to the burn of associated gas, we assessed them. It is around 600 billion rubles per year, which does not mean that by means of this technology we can avoid this waste. It can be done. One should not be surprised, because thanks to catalysts, in Russia we produce a lot of products in chemical industry to the amount of more than 1 trillion rubles per year, and in the world it is more than $1 trillion US. So that is definitely a very important contribution. In order to provide for the efficient operation in the engines, it is important that all the heavy elements of the associated gas are being transferred into the methane that is used as a diesel electric station, and the energy efficiency is increased by 20%. The maintenance time is also being decreased. This is the actual saving, and Valentin managed to turn all them scientists into white-collar workers, and they constructed 5 full-scale, energy-friendly fuel plants that can operate on this low-quality coal, basically on the waste disposal, without providing any waste disposal or any fuel outburst. So, unlike to the traditional facilities, they can increase the efficiency up to 10 times, and the burning temperature can be adjusted to the weather condition, and a result of that kind of power plants result in 20% 20 times savings of fuel, and in certain regimes they can be used for the processing of plant waste, for example from rice or oats. And there are millions of waste of the kind that can be used, and Valentin came with an idea to use these technologies to burn all this waste by generating energy and receive very useful materials that can be later used as absorbents for water treatment. Valentin also came with an idea to efficiently, directly accumulate different means of energy and different chemical energy types. For example, today, nuclear energy factories cannot change the mode of their work. The reactors work day to day in the same set mode, and the daily consumption of energy changes throughout the day. In the morning and in the evening, we consume more energy, while during nighttime, we consume less. The analytics done by Mr. Parmon and his team enable us to convert nuclear energy into chemical energy directly in the nuclear reactor, and further on preserve this energy for as long as we need it and later use it. From the viewpoint of fundamental science, we are in the area of search area. This is a focused search result, and Global Energy Prize provided us with an opportunity to focus on some specific aspects, namely on the ones who operate in this area, namely engineers. We never were focused on that before. Catalysis as a classification is actually a non-chemistry related science. It is chemical engineering. And Valentin Parmon is a Russian scientist. He's been through a very complicated way from a young technician up to a director of a research institution of catalysis in the Siberian department of the Russian Academy of Sciences. That is his success story. That is why the monetary part of the prize would be awarded to the assistance of young scientists and support of their development. Upon the decree of the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, the International Energy Prize Global Energy 2016 is being awarded by the responsible Secretary of the Presidential Commission of the Russian Federation on the issues of strategic development of the energy sector and environmental safety, Igor Sechin. Dear participants of the awards ceremony for the Global Energy Prize 2016, dear Mr. Parmon, dear ladies and gentlemen, upon the decree of the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, it is my honor to award the gold medal to the laureate of the Global Energy Prize, the outstanding scientist, member of the Russian Academy of Sciences, Valentin Parmon. Our compatriot was selected among 114 nominates for this prize. The catalyst reactor developed and designed by Mr. Parmon turned the efficiency of transfer of the solar energy into energy fuel up to 40% of efficiency. Never before none of the scientists managed to achieve that kind of indicators. That is the actual contribution to oil processing in Russia and the creation of the reforming catalysts and the renewable catalysts of the oil cracking. And Mr. Parmon mentioned it many times in his speeches, and he used one very representative comparison. He was saying that the state that has a full-fledged of the technologies to use production facilities is actually not that numerous as the one being able to manufacture nuclear bomb. I would like to congratulate you with all my heart your achievement and wish you a lot of great results in the future and efficient work. Thank you for your contribution. So for the breakthrough development of new catalysis in the area of oil processing and renewable energy sources that make great contribution to the development of energy of the future, we award the gold medal to the member of the Russian Academy of Sciences, Valentin Parmon from Russia. Thank you very much, Mr. Sechin. And I would like to give the floor to the laureate of the International Energy Prize Global Energy 2016, member of the Russian Academy of Sciences, Valentin Parmon. Dear Mr. Sechin, distinguished members of the International Award Committee of Global Energy Prize, dear colleagues from science and business, as well as industry, dear ladies and gentlemen. It is a huge honor for me to receive one of the most prestigious and acknowledged international prizes. More than that, this is basically the only prize that is being supported by supporting all kind of research and technology work. I'm even more proud of the fact that I'm the first chemistry science who is receiving this award. More than that, I'm working in the area of chemistry that is most in demand, namely catalysis. Word catalysis has been well known by many, it is being used in many industries, but not everybody understands that actually catalysis is a magic wand for chemists that enable us to achieve the right speed and pace of chemical reactions. And this magic wand in industry and economy of many countries is extremely high. Only in Russia, and in Russia alone, the catalysis reaction are being used to generate up to 15% of all the material component of the GDP. And all the countries interested in even deeper processing of these resources, let's say in the United States, their share amounts to 35% of GDP. And in the world, globally, the products manufactured by the use of catalysis technologies is $3 trillion per year. As for this prize, I'd like to say that indeed, our research institute has done a lot to develop oil processing industry in Russia. And the results of one of the large projects that we've completed recently seem to be very important to us. And we received a lot of support from the state, namely 500 million rubles to develop new catalysis of oil cracking and new catalysis of oil reforming. But in the 3 years while we were doing this project, the Russian state and Russian companies managed to manufacture new products to the amount of more than 8 billion rubles. So 1 ruble invested by the state in catalysis processes, the state received actual returns by 17 times more. And one can bring many more examples of the kind. Today we are providing our country with new catalysts that enable us to generate diesel fuel according to the standard of Euro 5. We learned how to process it efficiently in certain specific situations and most complicated components of the associated oil gas. And one of the examples was demonstrated here in the video, and we do hope that it would be used very actively in the Russian industry in the nearest future. We're even more proud of the fact that the work conducted by my specific scientific research received high assessment and appraisal. More than 20 years ago, I was deeply inspired by my research mentor, the member of the Russian Academy of Sciences, Kirill Samarayev, and he was also inspired by enthusiasm of the member of the Russian Academy of Sciences, Nikolai Semyonov, namely the work connected with the development of the catalysis system of transformation of solar energy. You definitely understand that this is the type of work that cannot be directly resulted in practical research and results, but we still have something to be proud of. We're the first ones to use the heterotransfer of semiconductors to create artificial photocatalytic systems that are more efficient than the bacterial photosynthesis. We have also demonstrated and proven that it is possible to create thermocatalytical devices that can transform concentrated solar energy with the efficiency of more than 40%. We have also prepared some demonstrations that show that efficient flows of solar energy that are being generated in a nuclear engine can be directly transferred into chemical energy with an energy intensity up to 200 kilowatts per cubic decimeter. This is the same density of energy that is actually generated by the nuclear reactors. Apart from that kind of work, we're also doing a lot of research, and it is a great pleasure to understand that we learned to increase energy efficiency of internal combustion engine by means of simple catalyst additives in the cycles by 30%. And the kind of foresight that is stating that the future is for electric cars might not be quite correct in case we use appropriately our technologies that have been successfully tested in manufacturing and in Gazprom. It is also interesting to say that nonetheless certain developments are going directly into the daily work and in practice. One of the such developments is the use of special catalyst methods to create a brand new energy plants, the ones that do not provide for any waste or do not burn fuel by bringing greenhouse gases, and the consumption of fuel is 2 times less than in standard plants. We still have a lot of problems to be resolved. We do see that Russia faces several challenges. One of them is the fact that Russia has huge non-traditional hydrogen raw materials resources, and these resources are primarily localized in Siberia and in the area of Arctic. This material should be developed, those reserves should be developed in the bituminous sands and in burning shales. These are the coal reserves, and according to the forecast and assessment, these reserves are more numerous than the reserves of the hydrocarbons that Russia possesses. But we need to learn how to process them, and this is the area of work for the chemistry scientists and working in the area of catalysis. Another challenge that Russia faces in this area is an opportunity to actively use renewable plant material for energy purposes. The problem is also focused on the fact that we are a little bit lagging behind in the development of technologies and adaptation of technologies that could be very important and could seriously impact our life. In the Western Europe, right now they are developing the standards for aviation fuel of new generation that should compulsorily require the additive from the biofuel. We can do that too. However, if our industry will not be fast enough to adapt for that kind of technologies, we can possibly lose up to 8% of the market in oil products, and aviation diesel and kerosene would have to be transported in containers to the Western Europe. Once again, I would like to thank the International Award Committee for the high assessment of my work. It was never a target per se for me to receive this prize. As I mentioned before, it is a standard work for a researcher, for a Russian researcher, to do what we are doing, and I can assure you that the rest of my life I shall serve to the same very field. This is everything I've been doing all my life before. Thank you very much. Dear Mr. Parmon, please stay with us. Your energy is contribution to the life and well-being of the whole humankind. Your experience, your wisdom and determination is a promise for success of the next generation of scientists and experts. I would like to thank you on behalf of the non-profit partnership Global Energy and everybody who participated in this ceremony. And let the Global Energy Prize develop and grow further and work for the benefit and the good of all the civilization by inspiring scientists to make new breakthroughs and find innovative solutions. Hereby, I would like to proclaim the 14th official award ceremony of the International Global Energy Prize 2016 closed.